What's up, folks? It's your buddy Fatal Roadie. Tonight we're going to be doing the Raw Recap for Memorial Day. We opened up with the annual dedication to the troops that was narrated by John Cena. WWE has always been a big supporter of the troops, going way back to when I can remember, at least in Desert Storm. I'm not sure if they've done past that, but at least that's when I can remember. It was a good tribute. We then opened up with Miz TV. Yay. The Miz comes out and starts talking about his IC match at Extreme Rules. Then he introduces Sheamus and Cesaro. Sheamus and Cesaro come out to the ring and sit down next to the Miz, and they start talking about their tag title match at Extreme Rules. Basically, the Miz is sitting there fellatiating Sheamus and Cesaro. I'm sick of these little talk show bits that they do. They're idiotic. Dean Ambrose comes out and starts trying to pick a fight with the Miz and Sheamus and Cesaro. The Miz tells Dean Ambrose that he can't count, that there's 3 of them and 1 of him. The Miz says, well, he's not that stupid. The Hardy Boys music hits and they come out. The Hardy Boys and Dean Ambrose jump into the ring, start a fight, and the first person to tuck tail and haul ass out of the ring, the Miz. Shocker. So, which brings our first match: Dean Ambrose and the Hardys versus Sheamus and Cesaro and the Miz. It was a good match. The Hardys had the offense for the first part. Sheamus tries to interfere. Matt goes after Sheamus real quick, which allows Cesaro to take over. Tags in Sheamus. He tries to pin him, gets a 2 count. Dean Ambrose tags in, starts hitting everybody. He gets up on the top rope. The Miz distracts him, and Sheamus knocks him off the top rope. Shortly after, a fight breaks out. Everybody's in the ring. Jeff Hardy catches the win with a swanton bomb on, I believe it was Sheamus. I missed who he pinned, but Dean Ambrose and the Hardys win that match. We then go to the announce table where Booker T and Michael Cole and Corey Graves are talking about the upcoming matches at Extreme Rules. Corey Graves is preoccupied with his cell phone. As Michael Cole tries to ask him a question, there's a short little pause of silence, and Corey Graves goes, "I'm sorry." He gets up and walks away. We then have a backstage spot where Corey Graves is showing Kurt Angle whatever it was that was on his phone. And apparently whatever the information that Corey Graves has to do with Kurt Angle. So I guess we're probably going to see that next week, probably in the next coming weeks of Raw. We then have basically a squash match. Elias Sampson gets introed, and he's strumming his guitar. I couldn't really make out what he was trying to sing, but his match was against a guy named Zach Evans, who's basically a jobber. Surprisingly, it was a awkwardly weird squash match. Weird in the fact that it was long. Usually squash matches are just boom, 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 the guy's on the ground, pin him, okay, let's go, next match. This one ran out a little longer than I thought it should have, but it was okay. We then cut to a interview with Samoa Joe talking about both the Extreme Rules match and the Triple Threat match later on with Finn Balor and Bray Wyatt. As he's sitting there trying to tell him what's going to happen at the Triple Threat match, guess what? A whole bunch of flashy shit. And we do a cut to Bray Wyatt, who seems to have a very bad case of the mumbles tonight, because as he was trying to talk, he couldn't understand half the shit he was saying. It goes without saying for any of these recent Bray Wyatt bits. Really don't pay attention to him anymore. I was high on him before, and he's just worn out his welcome. It's done. We then have the Triple Threat match with Finn Balor, Samoa Joe, and Bray Wyatt. As soon as the match starts, Bray Wyatt immediately rolls out of the ring, which allows Finn Balor and Samoa Joe to go at it for a while. Finn Balor throws Samoa Joe out of the ring right next to Bray Wyatt. Samoa Joe grabs Bray Wyatt and throws him into the ring. Samoa Joe and Bray Wyatt gang up on Finn Balor. Wyatt pulls the Sister Abigail on Samoa Joe. Towards the end of the match, Finn Balor gets the coup de grace on Bray Wyatt. Samoa Joe runs into the ring, throws Finn Balor out of the ring, and gets the pin on Bray Wyatt. So Samoa Joe wins the triple threat. We then have a cruiserweight match, which is a plus and a minus. The plus because we actually see different cruiserweights. It's Noam Dar versus Eric Swan. The minus to this is they're accompanied to the ring by Alicia Fox and Sasha Banks. It was a skippable match. Rich Swann won it. And apparently there's going to be a mixed tag match at Extreme Rules with these 4 people. The next match is Titus O'Neil versus Kalisto. It was a short match. Titus O'Neil won. It was alright. Probably could have skipped it. Then the next little segment was Alexa Bliss doing Bayley, This Is Your Life. Basically, she makes fun of Bayley's past, brings up her 4th grade teacher, I think it was, Bayley's best friend, and Bayley's ex-boyfriend. The segment was kind of ridiculous. Bayley comes out, starts a fight with Alexa Bliss. Bayley tries to go for the kendo stick that's hanging on the pole. Alexa Bliss knocks her down, and she has a kendo stick hiding underneath the table, and she smacks the piss out of Bayley, who rolls out of the ring. We then have a backstage segment of Enzo knocked out on the floor again. Everybody's trying to find out what's wrong with him. Big Cass comes out and says that it's the Revival, because apparently the Revival were backstage last week and they were here on Raw this week. There's a little bit of speculation that they're the ones that have caused it. Kurt Angle says that it wasn't the Revival. There's a few theories going about that it might be Big Cass that's actually doing this, which is one of my earlier predictions way back of Big Cass splitting up with Enzo. We'll have to see in the coming weeks what that goes up. We then have another cruiserweight match. Austin Aries and Jack Gallagher versus TJP and Neville. WWE, you goddamn son of a... Excuse me, folks. Technical difficulties. Well, Austin Aries, Jack Gallagher versus TJP and Neville. Jesus fucking Christ. This is the new Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns. I am sick of these 4 people. Jack Gallagher and Austin Aries won the match. Austin Aries got the last chancellery on Neville. Neville tapped out. I swear upon everything that is holy, I never want to see these 4 people teamed up again. I probably won't want to see these 4 people ever for the rest of the year. In 1 month, I've seen more of these 4 motherfuckers than I have anybody else. It's fucking ridiculous. Same shit, different fucking week. Rant over. So then we have a video package of Goldust. He's going back to the old school Goldust, it looks like, which is good, because I kind of liked him when he was doing his Shattered Dreams shit back in the 90s. Then we have, I guess, a reply video from R-Truth, basically just quoting Pulp Fiction lines. They're probably going to have a match. I'm not sure if it's going to be at Extreme Rules or probably would be Great Balls of Fire. Then we have our main event, Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns. It was a decent match. There was quite a bit of near falls. They let it run quite a bit. And as much as I'm tired of seeing these two, it was a decent match. It was fairly enjoyable. Roman Reigns won. I honestly thought Seth Rollins was going to win it from the way it was turning out, but Roman Reigns got in a spear, which that's It's just like Alexa Bliss's DDT. It's not really impressive as a finishing move. He basically hugs the guy and they fall over. But that was Raw for this week. It was average. Borderlining on above average. The matches were decent. Some of them could have been skipped. One of them could have just not happened, and I'd have been happier than hell. But this is our go home Raw before Extreme Rules. So I'll be doing a predictions video later on in the week for Extreme Rules. We'll go over all the matches. I'll pick who wins, and we'll see if I'm correct, who wins coming this Sunday. Well, that's going to do it for tonight's Raw recap. Leave a comment down below what you thought of it. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. I'll have a couple of videos linked around so you can check out anything else that's on my page. Check out my other videos. I've been Fatal Roadie. Thank you very much for watching. And remember, if it's too loud, you're too old. See ya.